Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So you guys know that I always try to eat the healthiest that I possibly can without totally restricting myself, but lately, I gotta be honest, I have been absolutely addicted to sugar. I've been saying treat yourself, but this is not a treat yourself moment. This is like you just actually have no self-control. I have not been happy with the way my body's been feeling lately or been looking, if I'm being completely honest. But I want to challenge myself to eat no desserts, no refined sugars, no sweets for the entire week. Don't worry, I'm gonna go back to treating myself after this, but I really just want to kick this into gear and prove to myself that I can go an entire week without having a treat. I think this challenge will be really good for me to center myself, redefine my goals, and prove to myself that I do still have self-control. My guidelines for this week are I'm not allowed to eat any sugar or artificial sweeteners. I just went to the store this afternoon and picked up some berries, some strawberries and blueberries just so I have a little bit of like something that's naturally sweet to snack on. I'm ruling honey is okay because it is a natural sweetener, but honestly I'm barely gonna eat any of it anyways. I'm pretty much just gonna put it in the tea that I'm drinking. So yeah, those are the guidelines that I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna take you guys throughout the entire week with me to check up on how I'm doing. I'm gonna start some meal prep this afternoon, so I'm ready to hit this week strong. So with that, let's get started. So in order to really stick to this no sugar thing this week, I think a meal prep is going to be key. If you guys saw in one of my most recent videos, I did a what I eat in a day work edition where I had been making my favorite breakfast lately. It's like avocado toast, some eggs, and sausage, and I've literally been eating that for over 2 months straight, and I'm finally sick of it. I've really been craving a more sweet breakfast in the morning, so in order to cut out that sugar, make sure I'm not eating like muffins or croissants or something like that, I am gonna go back to one of my favorite recipes, which is apple cinnamon oat muffins. They are so good. They definitely fill that sweet craving with the sweetness of the apples, but they don't have any added sugar. But sometimes they can be a little bit dry by themselves, so I want to make some homemade apple butter to go on top of them. All of the apple butter recipes that I see on Pinterest always have so much added sugar in them, which I am not going to add because apples are naturally sweet, but I am going to add a little dash of honey just to give it some extra sweetness, but I think that it's okay to add a little bit of honey just in this one item for this week. So I'm first gonna get started on the apple butter because I want to get the crock pot going. I have this bag of apples that I've been meaning to finish up literally forever now. I just need to cut them into small chunks, peel them, throw them in the crock pot, add a couple spices, dash of honey, and we'll be good to go. All right, the apples are chopped and in the crock pot. I wasn't careful about how I cut them just because I am going to put this in the blender once it's all done, so it doesn't really matter how they're actually cut. Then my add-ins are super simple. I'm gonna add a ton of cinnamon in. I wish I had ground cloves, but I only have whole ones, so I'm gonna add in these, but it doesn't actually matter because like I said, I'm putting it in the blender, so hopefully it turns out fine. And then we are gonna add in a touch of honey, probably like 2 tablespoons, which if you think about it, that is not much honey at all for how much apple butter this is gonna make. So now we are gonna let this simmer for probably like 3 hours or so until the apples are like nice and mushy. And actually, I think I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon juice to this apple butter because lemon juice really helps like bring out the flavor of apples. So I think this is gonna taste really good. Then we are going to do 1 cup of water. So while that's going, I'm gonna get started on the apple cinnamon muffins, and don't worry, I do have another apple to put in these. If you can tell, I took my time cutting this apple a little bit more than I did for the ones for the apple butter because these are actually going in the muffins and I wanna make sure they're the perfect bite size. For this recipe, I don't really have any exact measurements. I kind of just eye it and hope that it turns out okay. It's very minimal ingredients and super easy to make. It's just like eggs, some protein powder, oats. The oats I do measure out because I wanna make sure that I use the same amount of those every time, but everything else I just kind of throw in a bowl, you know? Starting off with 2 bananas. This is what helps form the actual mixture, just like mushing down the bananas and really adding to the oats. Now for a little extra punch, I'm gonna add some of this pure almond extract. As you can see, I haven't even opened it yet. I got this in my recent haul from the Spice House and I'm super excited to try it. Everyone says that almond extract is really good, so I think it'll just add a great flavor to this. The muffins are done. They look very good. They are a little bit crispier than I planned because I forgot to set a timer, but it's okay. They are still going to taste delicious. So the apples are done cooking and I just finished spooning them into the blender, and I tried to spoon them out to leave all the excess liquid that I don't need. I don't want it like too liquidy. I want it a little bit thick. So now I'm gonna pulse this gently until it has a nice texture. I don't want it too overly blended. I just want it to have like, you know, a little something to it. And just like that, we have apple butter. So Colin made a skillet cookie tonight and he's just trying to tempt me with sugar.
Sorry.
Alright, so I ran into a little bit of a dilemma this morning at work. I couldn't have my usual mid-morning snack because I usually eat a protein bar, but I realized that those have added sugar in them, so I can't eat it. So instead, I packed myself a big bowl of berries that I have just been munching on throughout the morning. It's just blueberries and strawberries because those are my favorite. And then I also brought these turkey bites to work. I got these a while ago from Walmart. They were just in like the checkout aisle, but y'all, these things are freaking good. And I'm usually a savory person instead of a sweet person anyway, so I was definitely down for it. They are so freaking good and the macros on these are awesome. Only 80 calories for a serving, 1 carbohydrate, 1 gram of sugar, 7 grams of protein, and 5 grams of fat. That's like really freaking good. So like if you haven't tried these out, you definitely should. And then for my lunch today, I have 4 turkey meatballs. They're just cut up in half. That's why they look all smashed. And then I have some broccoli and some homemade black beans. I've honestly been doing surprisingly well so far. I have had a headache this morning and I did have one last night as well. So I don't know if that's like me weaning off of not having as much sugar or if I just got a headache. I have no idea. Good morning and happy Tuesday, guys. So I am currently putting together my breakfast. It's literally just the oat muffins that we made together on Sunday. We got the apple butter. I'm also gonna cook up some turkey sausage and that's pretty much gonna be it. I was super lazy and just put the apple butter in the fridge like this because there was so much of it. So I'm pretty much just gonna spoon out of this all week. And this is the turkey sausage that I'm gonna eat. It's really good. I like patties because they're just like easier to cook, you know, like flip, flip, so easy. And I always drink a glass of this True Beauty powder in the morning from Woman's Best. I honestly can't tell you that it's done anything for my health. I really don't see a difference at all. But I do love to drink something that's not water in the morning, and at least I think there's some added health benefits, so whatever. It tastes really good though. I used to be a huge juice drinker in the morning, but juice is so bad for you because it has so much added sugar, so I cut that out of my diet, and now I drink something like this in the morning because it's still sweet, but it doesn't have all that added sugar that juice does. So here is my finished breakfast. We have 3 of the apple cinnamon oat muffins, and I topped them with apple butter, and then I popped them in the microwave with the apple butter at the end to get it warm because it was in the fridge, and then my 2 pieces of sausage. These muffins are so good and totally curbed my sweet tooth. Hopefully I won't even be craving a protein bar in the morning since I can't have them anymore. But the muffins are really naturally sweet from the apples and bananas and also the cinnamon. And the apple butter just adds to the sweetness as well because of course I did add a drop of honey in there, but also just the apples by themselves are really, really sweet. So far we're going good and I'm gonna try to keep it up. So little update for you guys. Today is Wednesday and oddly enough, throughout the day, I haven't found the need to snack as much as I usually do. So don't know if that's anything to do with me eating less sugar this week, but have not had the urge to really snack at all today. I am going over to my friend's house right now though to watch The Bachelorette because we always do on Wednesdays because that's when it comes out on Hulu, so we gotta watch it like immediately. And I think she's gonna make up like a little cheese board or something for us for dinner, and normally we would drink a bottle of wine together, but I am going to turn it down tonight because I really want to stick to this challenge, and wine has so much sugar in it. It's absolutely insane. I really need to cut my wine intake. So that's the situation. I'm gonna try to be strong, but it's definitely going to be hard tonight. So this morning I'm gonna switch up my drink a little bit and I am going to have some greens from Teamy. I really like having these in the morning. I feel like they really just like deep bloat me and get my stomach ready for the day. You can also use my code Kettler20 to get 20% off your order if you want. I'll leave the link down below. I like to put it in this Teamy shaker bottle thing and fill up the water to the eye. I do half of a scoop of the greens, and then I add in 1 little slice of lemon. Normally I'd also add in a couple drops of stevia, but we are not doing artificial sweeteners this week, so just the lemon, and hopefully it'll taste delicious. What I also love about this bottle is it has this little filter thing, so I don't have to worry about the lemon seeds getting in the drink. Oh my goodness, do you need something? You kind of have food. I'll give you breakfast in a second. And then this is also the last morning that I'm gonna be having this for breakfast, because this is the last of the turkey sausage and also the last of the muffins. The recipe that I do only makes muffins for 4 days because I eat 3 at a time and it makes 12. So unfortunately I'm gonna have to find something else for breakfast. Good morning. Today is Friday and I'm starting off the morning with a lovely cup of tea. Like I said, I'm gonna allow myself to have honey every once in a while, pretty much just in tea like this, just to make it a tiny bit sweet, but otherwise I've had no other sugar this week. Like I said yesterday, I'm out of those oat muffins now, so this is pretty much the sweet part of my breakfast, and after this I'm gonna make like a little like egg breakfast wrap. I was actually really shocked yesterday that I wasn't really hungry for a mid-morning snack at work. I did end up snacking on berries like I have been the other couple days, but I wasn't like actually hungry. I was just kind of like snacking because I was a little bit bored. But that's the first time in a while that I remember not feeling super hungry around 10:30 or 11. So I don't know if it has anything to do with eating no sugar this week, but I definitely was not as hungry. I haven't really noticed any difference in my energy levels, but I definitely think the hunger cues have changed drastically. So today is Saturday, which means it is the last day that I have to go completely without sugar. I am so excited. If you're wondering why my cheeks are rosy, it's because I got a little bit sunburned when Colin and I went to the Grand Canyon today, so just ignore that. It also happens to be Halloween, which means that I can't have any Halloween candy tonight, but that's fine because I usually go to Target on November 1st and buy all of the on sale Halloween candy. I'm currently making some dumplings for dinner, just super easy. But then I think I'm also gonna make myself a drink in honor of Halloween, so I'm gonna use some of this gin that my dad and I got at this brewery while he was here, and then also add some dashes of cherry bitters. And then I'm gonna mix this with a tonic water so that there is no sugar in it. I've been trying really hard not to drink this week, which is definitely difficult because I usually have a lot of wine during the week, but this is definitely helping me realize that I can make a drink that doesn't have added sugars in it. Like I can just do like a straight up alcohol, some bitters to give it some more flavor, and doing something like a tonic water or a diet soda or something. I don't have to drink super sugary wine every single week. So I definitely think I'm gonna be doing something like this way more often. All right, so I made my drink. I ended up doing like a shot and a half of the gin and 5 to 6 squirts of the bitters, and then some tonic water. And then we got my dumpling sauce and my beautiful dumplings. Yum, yum. So the end of this sugar detox is finally over, and I could not be more excited to finally have some treats back in my life. But with that, I have learned a lot of lessons this week that I want to share with you guys. So the first things that I want to talk about are the results that I had from all of this. The first one being that I definitely noticed a reduction in hunger and also less snacking throughout the day. My meals definitely kept me fuller for longer, and by the time it came for like my mid-morning snack where I'd normally have a protein bar between breakfast and lunch, I wasn't really that hungry for it by the end of the week. Just having like a couple berries, some strawberries, blueberries was plenty satisfying enough for me to hold me over until lunch. Normally I almost need like a mini second breakfast. I'm so hungry sitting at my desk, which is definitely due to boredom and just like repetitive tasks. I know that, but I definitely think eating less sugar throughout the week made me crave sugar even less, and so I just wasn't as hungry in the morning. After my lunches though, I still kind of was craving a sweet treat, so I definitely missed out on that, but I definitely got used to it by the end of the week. And the second thing that I noticed is that I got a lot more headaches this week than usual. This could be because my body was used to eating so much sugar that cutting myself off cold turkey, my body just did not like that at all. So hopefully this is something that is like an initial effect, and if I continue continue to wean myself off of sugar, I wouldn't get headaches as often because my body is not as addicted to it. I did not, however, see any changes in my body. My body does not look different, doesn't weigh different, none of that. Cutting sugar out of your diet for 1 week is not going to completely transform your body. That's not why I did this. I wanted to challenge myself to do something that I knew was going to be difficult for me, and somehow I made it through. Some key lessons that I learned after this week are that I definitely eat way too much sugar on a regular basis. The amount of times that I found myself reaching for a sugary treat and realizing, oh my gosh, this is the 3rd time that I've reached for a chocolate bar today. Maybe we have a problem. I also realized how often I wanted to reach for a glass of wine, and the wine I drink is not real wine. It is like apple juice. It is so sweet and has so much added sugar in it. I can only imagine how many grams of sugar I cut out of my diet this week by not drinking any wine. I really want to make the switch over to just like a nice classy cocktail with some tonic water and vodka and just like something to splash in there to give it some flavor, which brings me to my next point, and that I should definitely make way more healthy homemade desserts. I always say I'm gonna make healthy homemade cookies, but then I get way too lazy and I don't end up doing it. I love when I do make them. They're absolutely delicious and there's nothing wrong with them. I just get way too lazy to do it and I end up buying some cookies at the store. But that is gonna change because right after this, I am literally gonna go make myself some healthy cookies so that I have them to munch on throughout the week. This week was pretty difficult for me to say no to sweets and sugar, but I definitely think I want to continue this as much as I possibly can. Overall, I really enjoyed this challenge and I think it was definitely a nice change for me. I've definitely learned a lot about myself and my habits, and based off of what I have learned, I definitely need to make a few changes. If you guys are struggling with being addicted to sugar, I highly recommend doing this. It'll definitely open your eyes to your tendencies that you didn't know that you were doing. I, for one, am gonna continue this for as long as I can, still treating myself, but just being much more aware of how much sugar I'm actually consuming. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to click subscribe down below so that you never miss another video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Toodles!